We are in the midst of a social evolution, I will say, not revolution, which is based in large on our new social technologies. This evolution comes about because current network-based technologies are allowing new modes of communication, which are changing how people relate to each other and to learning. We are seeing in the networks what we call peer-to-peer cultures developing, which are allowing people to connect to one another and learn through each other instead of through institutions. These type of communication models, emerging communication models, are bringing great challenges to institutions, more specifically learning institutions. How do we, as universities, incorporate the informal learning taking place within this peer-to-peer culture and ensure that our learning environments allow students to use them to their full potential? The role of the teacher changes drastically. I mean, I think some of the original tasks remain the same, but the teacher is much more facilitator. And when I mean facilitator, there's layers to this. One is a social facilitator, ensuring that people connect to who they need to connect, maybe through a network, but also facilitator of experiences. They set up situations for the students instead of giving them information. So for instance, when we're talking about experiential learning, simulation is an example of experiential-based learning. The role of the teacher in that context is no longer to just say, okay, student needs to know ABC, I'm going to give them the information, let them learning. Instead of doing that, it's to set up a scenario where that kind of skill set, a specific skill set is implicit within the activities that the students has to take to go through and to learn from that. The second layer at the pedagogical level is to learn to listen instead of to talk, which for teachers is not always easy because we like talking. But part of the difficulty is how do you learn to let the students drive the experience instead of being always in the seat. Teachers are trained to control the situation. We're not trained to let go. If learning becomes student-centered and active-based, then a faculty member has to be able to assess the student's need and respond to that instead of assuming that standard knowledge will be the same for all.